You ever feel like someone's literally holding your life hostage with a fence? That's exactly what happened to me, and it took years before the truth finally came out. And trust me, you're not going to believe how far it went. For years, I couldn't access my own property. Sounds insane, right? I owned the land, had the deeds, the taxes paid up, but every time I tried to step onto it, it felt like I was trespassing. And it wasn't some misunderstanding or a one-time inconvenience. No, this was relentless. Every truck I tried to drive in, every delivery I arranged, every friend or family member I brought along. All blocked. First, I brushed it off. Maybe they don't know I own this, I thought. But that excuse evaporated the moment I saw the first pile of debris blocking my driveway. Rocks, wood, even a rusty old tractor left to accidentally sit in the middle of the path. It was obvious now. My neighbor didn't just want to block me. They wanted to humiliate me. And it didn't stop there. Notes started appearing. Little passive-aggressive reminders. No trespassing, private property, and my personal favorite. Access at your own risk. Every note dripping with arrogance. Every word a taunt. They knew I had the right to be there. They were just daring me to prove it. I tried reasoning. I knocked on their door. I tried to explain calmly. Hey, I own this land. I just need to bring in some supplies. Every conversation ended with them smiling like I was the crazy one. And the smile wasn't friendly. It was the kind of smile that says, "You're wasting your time. You'll never win." Years passed like this. Friends stopped visiting. Deliveries were rerouted. Even I began doubting myself sometimes. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe I should just sell the property and walk away. But deep down, I knew one thing. I wasn't going anywhere. Every setback became a lesson. I started documenting everything. Photos of gates, timestamps of every locked access, videos of confrontations. I kept a journal, detailed accounts of every interaction. Some nights, I'd just sit there looking at the locked gate, thinking about how many years had been wasted standing outside my own land. But I kept going. Persistence became my weapon. Then came the legal angle. Attorneys looked over my documents and sighed. Without a survey, one said, "It's going to be tough. You need proof of the exact boundaries." A survey, of course. It sounded simple, but getting one wasn't going to be easy. My neighbor had already blocked surveyors in the past. They didn't want anyone checking the land, confirming what was already mine. Still, I scheduled it. The day the surveyor arrived, I felt a mix of hope and dread. This was it, the potential turning point. They measured, mapped, recorded, took notes in their little book while I watched anxiously. Every tap of their measuring rod against the ground felt like a drumbeat to the years I had lost. When I got the first draft of the report, my stomach sank. It was everything I hoped for. Every corner, every boundary, every inch of land was mine. But now came the hard part, making it public. Because only then could I prove, beyond any doubt, that my neighbor's years of blockades and lies had been deliberate. And when the report was officially filed, I realized this wasn't just about property anymore. It was about justice, respect, and reclaiming what's yours in a world where some people think they can bully their way to control. But even with the report in hand, I had no idea the chaos it would unleash. Because once the truth came out, everything changed. And my neighbor, let's just say, they weren't ready for what was coming. The moment the surveyor's report went public, the world shifted. What had been a slow, silent war for years suddenly exploded into reality. My neighbor's smug confidence, the one that had been my constant nightmare, vanished overnight. Suddenly, it wasn't just me holding proof. The law was holding proof. Documentation, measurements, verified evidence, all pointing to the fact that I had been right all along. And every barrier they'd erected? Useless. Every locked gate, every pile of debris, every note mocking me, meaningless. They tried to argue, of course. They brought lawyers, sent threatening letters, even tried to negotiate some alternative solution. But the law doesn't bend for arrogance. The surveyor's report was clear. Every line, every measurement, every corner confirmed the truth. My land, my access, my rights, I remember standing at the gate one morning, feeling something I hadn't felt in years. Freedom. No chains, no obstacles, no taunts. Just land I'd owned all along, waiting for me to reclaim it. And the strange part? A sense of vindication doesn't come quietly. It hits hard, like a rush of air after being trapped underwater for too long. Neighbors, friends, and even strangers reached out once the story got out. Everyone who had seen the subtle wars my neighbor had waged now understood. Every subtle insult, every hidden blockade, every lie, it all made sense. And for me, that sense of community support, that confirmation from people who believed me, was just as important as the surveyor's report itself. But here's the thing, my neighbor didn't take it well. The arrogance that had fueled years of harassment turned into panic. Calls went unanswered, emails went ignored, and suddenly, the bravado vanished. The person who once blocked me from my own land now had nothing but excuses and empty threats. By the end of it all, I had full, unhindered access. I could walk across my property whenever I wanted, drive my trucks in, invite friends and family, plant, build, create without fear of being blocked or intimidated. It was more than a victory. It was a reclaiming of years stolen from me. And the lesson? Never underestimate the power of persistence, documentation, and standing up for what's yours. Sometimes, the smallest piece of paper, the surveyor's report, can dismantle years of lies, arrogance, and control. Justice may take time, but when it arrives, it's absolute. Looking back now, I realize this story isn't just about a blocked driveway or a locked gate. It's about life, resilience, and the truth. About never letting someone else define what's yours, and having the courage to fight, document, and prove it. Because one day the truth will find its way out. And when it does, no amount of deception, arrogance, or control can stop it. So, to anyone out there who feels trapped, blocked, or underestimated, this story is for you. Keep fighting, keep documenting, keep believing, because eventually the truth always comes out. And when it does, the victory is sweeter than anything you could imagine. If you've ever felt denied, blocked, or doubted, remember this story. Share it with someone who needs a reminder that truth and persistence always win. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and join me for more stories of people taking back what's theirs. One battle at a time.